Hello and welcome to Season of War. We have an Age of Sigmar battle report, as always, coming to you today. Just as a heads up before we get into this, we are preparing for an event this coming weekend, a small 12-person one-day event. So we're both taking our competitive lists. I'm actually doing a little bit of testing, but this is what you're going to be taking for the weekend.
This is definitely what I'll be bringing.
Sweet. We've already done our terrain deployment for our faction terrain. And just want to mention that our terrain placement on the table, while a little more sparse than our normal terrain for battle reports, this is more typical to what you'll see at an event. So a little more spread out, a little more space, especially in this big objective mission. Because obviously, it's a little less interesting looking on camera sometimes, but just in terms of a playability standpoint, we want to be practicing in a similar situation to what the tournament games will be like.
So we're playing the Blade's Edge, which is the new one, or one of the new ones in the 2020 handbook. So 6 objectives, just a single point, no bonus for any hero, battle line, monster, or otherwise. But the twist is that you get to burn one if you go second starting in round 2. So you eliminate one of your choice to pull points away from your opponent.
Yeah, so...
we're playing in the realm of Hysh, so the spell is an extra sort of mystic shield, basically. The command ability ignores cover, and then the realm feature is the 6-up feel no pain if you're within an inch of terrain.
Yeah, so let's just get into the roll for deployment, and we'll go from there. 4 for me.
1.
Okay, so... I am a 4-drop in this list that I'm testing. You're 5, so I would finish no matter what first. So we'll just get into deployment and talk about our armies afterwards. Alrighty, so I'll finish deployment now. I finished dropping first, as expected, being 1 drop less than you with battalions. I'm pretty much running my standard competitive Deepkin list, which is the Akhelian core battalion, which includes the Leviadon, the Allopexes, and all the eels. I have the Akhelian king, who has the Cloud of Midnight item. And then the big change in this list from what I normally run is instead of 1 Soulscryer, I have a 2nd additional Soulscryer. The main reason for that was the mission pack that we're preparing for has a mission in it which rewards heroes, storing extra points. So I'm testing that to see how it does, but obviously it doesn't affect this mission, but if I take my army in that build, I have to be prepared to play it in missions where it's not ideal to have more. So that's pretty much my list, pretty simple. My enclave is Dhom-Hain, so I'm going to have reroll 1s on the charge and reroll all wounds against monsters, which actually is huge in this matchup.
Yeah.
Then with my Deep Striking Soulscryers, I have one with a unit of 3 Morrsarr eels, and the other one has the unit of 6 Morrsarr eels. So I could Deep Strike from 2 different spots with them, or potentially hit the same spot and get +6 to charge, which makes the already reliable charges from Deep Strike extra reliable. That's my army.
All right. I'm running the Royal Menagerie Battalion, so 3 Terrorgheists. Then I have a Ghoul King on Terrorgheist, a Ghoul King not on Terrorgheist, and the Abhorrant Archregent, and then just 10 the only ghouls over here. I don't have that many models on the table, but then again, neither do you so far.
Yeah, especially with the deep striking. So I will have choice And I'm going to give you first turn here, and
Okay.
you're going to have obviously the chance to do your summons and potentially some running and charging too. But yeah, we'll see how turn 1 goes. So we'll go into the top of round 1 with Flesh Eater Torts going first.
Flesh Eater Courts, turn 1, top of round 1. So I deployed my Archregent in such a way that he was wholly within 24 inches of these guys, so that he could cast a spell to add their wounds characteristic to their movement characteristic. So I would add 1 inch onto their 6 inch, and then I could guarantee a run roll of 6
For command point, yeah.
for a command point to put them on that objective. But I forgot to leave a hero within 6 inches of the ghouls. He was 8 inches after he made a run, and he needed 9. Mm-hmm. So he was an inch away from being able to give them the guaranteed run roll of 6 for a command point to get them on that objective and this one. So I had to settle for just taking this one and then blocking out my back.
But was huge, actually.
Yeah.
In terms of just prepping for an event,
Yeah.
this is what practicing with your list is all about, right? Those little things of like, this is the order of operations. You would, because you wanted to stay near your throne in case you wanted to summon for free.
But he can move after the
Exactly.
fact to the throne.
So you could have deployed him in a range to give them, be within 6 for the auto run 6, and then he could have moved to be within the throne. Again, this is like kind of the first time you've played this army on this mission, so those little things you just learn the first time, and if your first time's at an event, it can cost you, right?
Yeah. I failed Spectral Host, so the run and charge spell. I got the +3 attacks off on the Ghoul King on Terrorgheist, but he obviously had no target in range. But if Jordan should decide to attack him, it could hurt. The Ghoul King on Terrorgheist moved up to be central so that he can make anyone pile in and attack twice, or pile in after death. The Foot Ghoul King summoned 10 ghouls in behind, just sort of blocking out Jordan's double deep striking shenanigans. I didn't do my other 2 summons. I have the Archregent, who could summon something still for free because he's near the throne, and the Ghoul King can summon 3 knights. But I didn't use that because I figured I'll wait to see where Jordan deep strikes his stuff before I, bring mine on, because otherwise they're just sitting targets waiting for Jordan.
Yeah.
So hopefully I've blocked off Jordan enough that he can't deep strike anything into me, and I think I'm taking 5 objectives out of the 6.
Yes. So very, very strong.
So yeah, this guy is 1 millimeter onto the 6-inch objective there. Same with this guy.
So we'll go into the bottom of round 1 with Idoneth Deepkin coming up. Alright, so just finished my turn with Deepkin. As I mentioned before, obviously very scared of your army, and especially where on a mission where you can sit so central and really then hit anything, it terrifies me. So yeah, so I was really worried. So I really did as much as I could to try and mitigate what you're going to be able to do. Big things, obviously, moving up onto those objectives. I charged in and killed your ghouls with the help of my Soulscryer Division +3. Again, obviously, I had to kill them. 2 bodies over here. I have 4 on this one, so I will take 4 points this round to your 5. And then, so I made that charge. That, obviously knew where that was going. I also charged my Akhelian Queen in the center. And then I popped my Cloud of Midnight, so there was no attacking there. Currently, with the Terrorgheist and your Ghoul Queen on Terrorgheist in combat, which means they're in combat still. So from here, we'll just be going into the roll-off and seeing how turn 2 comes. 4.
6.
Your choice.
I'll take it, but then you get to burn one, but
yep,
that's the way she goes.
Yes, sir. I think I'm going to burn your back one over here.
All right. Don't impale yourself on this.
Yeah, I know. So many spikes. All right, so we'll be going into round 2 and Flesh-Eater Court's turn 2.
Okay. Flesh Eater Courts, turn 2, top of round 2. I started off by casting Blood Feast on the Akhelian Queen. I got D6 mortals and I rolled a 4, but Jordan saved 2 of the 4. So that was not a great start from the 6-up Feel No Pain from the boat.
Yep.
I tried to cast Arcane Bolt on the Akhelian Queen, but failed that. Even with the +1, I failed. I gave plus D3 attacks to this Terrorgheist, but rolled a 1. I gave +1 attack to this Terrorgheist, and
So
it
it
was
was at
1,
2.
so +2 attacks. I moved all the Terrorgeists over, including the Ghoul King. Well, no, these 2 were locked in combat, so they couldn't move. This one charged into the 3 offensive eels and ate them. This one charged into the Akhelian Queen just in case this one whiffed, but he managed to kill the Akhelian Queen without an issue.
Yep.
I went first here, but unfortunately that meant that Jordan's offensive eels could go into my flayers, and he killed off one of them with the shocks, and then another one, and left one with 1 wound remaining. So that's not great, but it is what it is.
Then they obviously got eaten by the Terrorgheist.
Yeah, so they went down immediately to a Terrorgheist. 6 mortals, and then 2 more hits through at -2 rend for 2 more d6 and 8, so that was all of them. I will unfortunately only score 2 points here, though. Jordan burned this one, which was huge. So yeah, I'm sort of consolidated in the center here, but Jordan's guaranteed at least 3 points next turn, which will bring us even. I'm still in an okay place in terms of what I've left in my army, but not such a great place in terms of objectives.
Not bad, but you're not ahead.
Yeah, you can just sort of hang back around the edges and force me to come out.
That's the tough position I'm in, right? I can't engage you effectively when you're in this kind of a positioning. It's just so strong. Anything I send in, even if it kills something, is going to get killed in return. So yeah, definitely a tough spot for me. I think the matchup's just tough. Again, now I'm re-rolling wounds, so I'll kill stuff very effectively. But it's the piling and attack when you die, and that kind of thing. And actually, you didn't end up going in here. You would have had to get 2 bodies or kill both of them, which that's kind of why you avoided it. I actually kind of hoped you would try and send one over, or even both of those 2 over here, just to pull you away, because actually this would have pulled you outside of your Holy Within 18.
Yeah.
So I was trying to bait you outside of it with those 2. Didn't take the bait. You weren't as effective in terms of your output, but you're in a way stronger position where you are now.
Yeah, I mean, I have 4 Terrorgeists and only 2 got to attack, and they only rolled half their attacks and didn't pile in and attack twice. They were not effectively used.
But otherwise, we'll be going into bottom of round 2 with Idoneth Deepkin turn coming up. Okay, so finished Idoneth Deepkin turn 2. Bottom of round 2. It was my run and charge turn. Really didn't use it very much. Turtle moved over, shot off the last wound on the flare, charged in, and just barely killed your Vardolf, which was actually pretty big. Think I could have actually left those guys off the objective with how I changed my plan mid-turn, but again, I had done that first. Really, I should have just completely vacated, make you drop a body there without any combat to take it. I didn't want to give you freebies, but I also know that anything you're getting into, you're killing. It is my attack first turn, so that will help me in these two cases for sure. And I'm just really spread out right now, so you have to make the decision of kind of staying in a strong group or spreading out to hit multiple objectives or multiple targets. They also have targets that aren't on objectives that you have to deal with. And additionally, I still have my 6 eels off the board that are just
a threat.
Yes. You know, again, we're testing here, so I'm not worried about giving anything away, but obviously I'm dancing around. I can't face you head to head because I'll just lose that matchup in terms of attrition. If I feel I kill you, whatever killed you is dead in return. So it's a lose. And I can't afford loses. I have to kill what I'm hitting and not get hit in return. That's not something I can do against your army, so I'm doing the best I can in the circumstances, which is just avoid you.
Yeah, but you managed to get 3 points to my 2 that round, so you tied the score up.
Yes, my hope was actually to run. I needed about another inch to make a charge into your Archregent comfortable, and then I could have sent 2 units there into your Archregent rather than the Ghouls. Killed the Archregent, stayed out of combat with everything else, and taken that objective. That would have been, I would have felt way better about that, but I didn't have the charge I needed, the run I needed. We're going into obviously a impactful priority roll. So you win ties. I rolled a 2 to your 4. So you will get the win there.
Yeah. So if I take it, you get to burn another one, which is going to be one of these 2, obviously, which forces me to relocate. Whew. If I give it away, like you say, probably put 2 units into this Archregent, but then I get back, I kill back whatever.
Not with the Archregent.
No. But after that,
Mm-hmm.
I think I have to give it away because I can't afford to lose more objectives.
Yeah, it definitely is a tight spot, and that's what I am trying to put you in a position where you don't really, it's a lose-lose.
Yeah, and being your attack first turn, like, I really don't gain anything from sending a thing over there, a Terrorgheist over there, sending a Terrorgheist over there, sending one over
you do.
here.
You'll still kill stuff, and you're not going to die necessarily.
But it just makes it hard for me to keep a tight formation when I'm losing my central objectives.
Yep. So you will get to burn one. So much strategy in these new missions. I love it. It's so tough. In a great way, it makes the decisions more impactful. Even here, you're giving away the turn on my attack first turn. That's huge.
All right.
Okay, so we'll go into top of round 3 with Idoneth Deepkin going first. Okay, so just finished up turn 3, top of the round with Deepkin, and the table looks a little different. I was at, I think, a big decision point of whether I either stayed completely outside of your threat range and made you move out to objectives and then punch you, or I felt like I had an okay opportunity to get into all 3 of your heroes at once and potentially take them all out, which means nothing else is attacking when it dies or attacking twice outside of the hero. So obviously you can see I ended up going all in, 6 eels off the board, another 2 units of 3 that were already deployed, as well as my shark going in over there. And then I had my unit of 3 defensive and my turtle coming in here trying to finish off another Terrorgheist, which I wanted to do after all your heroes were dead. So you couldn't, again, do the pile in, attack twice, or pile in on death. I managed to shoot off that last ghoul, who freed up those 3 to charge, and then I was given +6 to charge from my +3 from each of my Soulscryers against your Archregent, and my unit of 6, who had just deep struck, needed an 11, but with +6 I only needed a 5. I rolled a double 6 on there, which was just disgusting because it gave me an 18-inch charge. What that let me do was put one guy here and line up the other 5 right against your Terrorgheist, and actually all of them were in range of your Terrorgheist even there. Now, again, even like something like a 6 to get a 12 would have let me position in such a way that I could then pile into him. Would have done the same thing, but the 18 just made it super gross because it let me also position this unit in such a way that they could then pile into your other Terrorgheist. That's the big thing. Again, this is my attack first round. So my shark went first, left 1 wound on your Ghoul King. The 6 went, finished up your Ghoul King, as well as your Ghoul King on Terrorgheist. Ghoul King on Terrorgheist then snapped back on death and piling in twice to take out 5 of the 6 eels, and the last one fled to Battle Shock. So after that, the 3 guys back here took out your Archregent, allowing these 3 to pile into your other wounded Terrorgheist. Those 3 piled into the wounded Terrorgheist and finished him off, which was just, icing on the cake. And then I had these 2 units go into your Terrorgheist over here, leaving him on 2 wounds remaining. Very sad. I would have obviously loved to kill him, but in terms of what went my way, I'm in no position to complain. Now, it kept me from taking this objective, so I score 3 points. Last thing to add insult to injury, my Soulscryer rolled a 9 or a 9+ on the prayer, meaning that I was actually able to remove fly from your army until my next hero phase. So not only are you in a really tough position on the board, but you also don't have fly. Not the end of the world, but it means you can't sneak over to this one for a point. So with my sub-faction, I re-roll all wounds against monsters. So all my spears doing 2 run 2 damage, just cripple your saves. I'm re-rolling ones to hit, so literally the only thing between hits and wounds I'm not re-rolling is hit rolls of 2. So makes the army super consistent, but you have your turn, so we'll see what Flesh-Eater Horse can do in bottom of round 3.
So retreated the 1 badly wounded Terrorgheist out of combat, moved the other one, and tried to shoot off the 1 eel. He managed 2 mortals, so the guy survived on 1. Then charged him into these guys and managed to kill 2 eels, leaving 1 on 3 wounds. So I still have, because I have giant bases, I still technically have 2 guys on that objective, so I retain that one. So I'll score 1 point, which puts me -2. I don't think there's a whole lot of hope here, but I mean, we could roll it out and see who gets the next turn.
Yep. Worth noting, so 2 dice lost there, but I used my item, Lliandra's Last Lament, from my Soulscryer to make them immune to Battle Shock. So, again, I only had 1 body on there, but it keeps me the objective. 4. 2. And I think at this point, so what I can do is come in, probably kill both Terrorgheist, honestly.
Yeah.
Between attacking first, putting my first attacks into this one. Actually, that's a lot of attacks, so I might not kill it until it might attack me back, but I think even if I retreat out, sit 2 dice on that objective, leave those 3 eels out, you're just in a position where I take that objective, I would likely score 4 points.
3. I'm going to burn 1.
Sorry, yes, you would burn 1. So I'll score 3 points no matter what, even without combats. And then you have to try and fight for both those, and you're just too...
I'm
it's
2
close.
down and can
It's
only take 2 per turn.
very close in score, but now you're just limited in terms of how many you can actually get fighting.
I think the pivotal was I should have given away turn 2. I was castled up. I should have forced you to come into me then where you were not in position yet for it. Giving away turn 2 and not bringing my summons in, or at least not charging them in when I knew I could kill you with the Terrorgeists, because I lost all 3 flayers essentially for nothing.
Yeah. Would have got more wounds on the Terrorgeist, but they're hardy, it wasn't going to die.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely give away the turn 2.
Yeah, I think it's so big in this mission, right? Like, you realize that after turn 2, you're like, oh, I should have given it that way. And you gave it away turn 3, which I don't think there was a right decision there in turn 3, because you either...
I either go into you and you're attacking first, or I let you come into me and you're attacking first. Like, there's no winning that scenario.
I'm so spread out that you're only getting 1 unit, even with a light of pile and attack twice.
And the big threats off the board.
Yeah, and exactly. So all my stuff, again, was near edges, so I'm pulling you to an edge. It was definitely a tough spot you were in no matter what. I think, obviously, you were going there for the points, and it just didn't work in your favor. I don't think there was, again, a right decision there, but, man, that was, yeah, pretty gross. When I'm rerolling wounds again, I think just like, is a huge swing in my average damage. So obviously very, very fortunate. That's the one, I guess, positive to facing your 4 Terrorgheist list, where a lot of things scare me, but that is one aspect that works to my advantage. But anyways, this battle was obviously a bloodbath. But again, a big thank you always to everyone who's watched and followed along with our videos, subscribed, liked, commented, all that stuff. We really appreciate all the great discussions we've had in the comments, as well as suggestions on upgrades and feedback in terms of what we're doing, positives and negatives. It always helps to continue to learn and grow and try and improve things as much as possible. Obviously, I hope you guys have enjoyed the new set. Things look a little better in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I guess, until next time.
Thanks for watching.
See you soon.